Good morning everyone. My name is DOLSY Sharma. I am working as a clinical instructor in RPIIT College. Today we'll discuss about the topic parts of prosthesis. This is the part of prosthesis starting from quadrilateral socket, thigh piece, that is suspension system, knee assembly, extension of joints, shank, palm, foot ankles assembly, terminal device that is usually includes foot and ankle. The other side, Silesian bandage, suction value is the part of the prosthesis. BK prosthesis for transtibial amputations, PTB prosthesis. The patellar tendon bearing PTB socket is the standard transtibial socket. It is laminated plastic socket. The body weight has to be taken on the patellar tendon. A part of the weight is borne over the condylar flares. Area of relief from pressure include the head of the fibula, the distal ends of both the tibia and fibula, and the shin. Supracondylar cuff socket insert, patellar tendon bearing area, foot ankle assembly, that is in body. PTB prosthesis. The proximal posterior wall of the socket bulges posteriorly to allow for the muscle bulk. The level of this wall must be low enough to allow the client to sit with the knee flexed at least 90 degrees, yet high enough to prevent undue bulging of flesh over the brim. The proximal edge is rounded to prevent sharp pressure on the back of the knee. Grooves are provided at the medial and lateral cons for the hamstring tendons. The anterior wall reaches to the patellar level and has a shelf that corresponds to and shifts the weight on the patellar tendon. The medial and lateral walls reach approximately to the level of the adductor tubercle. AK prosthesis for transfemoral amputations. The quadrilateral socket. It is named for its four walls that have specific functions. Distal, the socket is contoured to provide total contact for the residual limb. The posterior wall. Most of the weight is borne along with the posterior wall. The ischial tuberosity and some gluteal muscles rest on the top of the wall, which is thicker medially and laterally. Internally, the wall is contoured for the hamstring muscles, while externally it is flat to prevent rolling of the thigh in sitting. The height of the posterior wall is determined by the position of the ischial tuberosity. Quadrilateral socket. Space for hamstring tendon, space for gluteus maximus, space for rectus femoris, anterior wall, space for abductor longus, medial ischial seat. AK prosthesis for transfemoral amputations. The anterior wall. It rises above 5 cm above the height of the posterior wall. It is convex laterally to allow space for the bulk of the rectus femoris muscle. The lateral wall is as high as the anterior wall. Inside, the wall inclines medially to set the residual limb in about evenly over that side and bears some of the weight. The medial wall, it is vertical and prevents medial movement of the residual limb within the socket, especially during stances. A relief channel is built into the corner of the medial and anterior walls of the abductor longus tendon. The medial wall and the posterior wall are of the same height. Hitching on the pubic ramus, which cause a lot of irritation, is avoided by lowering the medial wall. Bilateral transfemoral amputation stubbies. Stubby prosthesis or stubbies are generally prescribed only for individuals with bilateral transfemoral AK amputations who are motivated to ambulate but who are not candidates for fitting with full-length prosthesis. They are most effective for individuals with short residual limbs. Stubby prostheses do not have any knee joints. They have above knee socket as with AK prosthesis, and to prevent the wearer from falling backward are provided with modified rocketer bottom feet. Bilateral transfemoral amputation stubbies. They are shorter than the original limbs to bring down the center of gravity and thereby increases stability. Stubbies allow easy balance and the patient walks with lesser expenditure of energy. Ambulation causes exaggerated truncal rotation. Short cranes and crutches are usually needed for support. Sitting in a chair and climbing stairs are little difficult because of shortness of prosthesis. Many people find stubbies cosmetically unacceptable because of the extreme reduction in height. Ankle foot assembly. Non-articulated, articulated. Jeppo foot, Madras foot, sash, safe, dynamic response foot, single axis, multiple axis. Multi-axis feet. Single axis feet allow movement of the foot in one axis up and down. Multi-axis feet move up and down as well as side to conform to uneven surfaces. better than single axis feet. Multi-axis feet have ankle motion which absorbs stress of walking, reducing wear and tear of the prosthesis. Non-dynamic response feet. Solid ankle cushion heel. The solid ankle cushion heel foot is a non-articulated device with a solid wood, spongy rubber heel wedge, and a molded cosmetic forefoot with or without individual toes. Mild hyperextension of the rubber toe and forefoot is possible in late stance and push-off. Jaipur foot. The sash foot has disadvantage that it has to be usually used only with the shoes since the shapes of the toes are not discriminable. In India, where barefoot walking is prevalent in villages, together with the practice of not wearing shoes inside the homes and temples, it was but natural that there was a need for cheap alternative to the sash foot, which would also be cosmetic. It was developed as SMS Medical College, Jaipur by Proof PK Sethi and team. It provides barefoot walking. The foot and ankle assembly is made up of rubber material. Advantages: cosmetically well accepted in the rural population who prefer barefoot ambulation. The elasticity of the rubber provides enough dorsiflexion to permit an ampute to squat, transverse rotation of the foot and the leg to facilitate walking in cross-legged sitting, and sufficient range of inversion. Eversion to allow the foot to adapt itself while walking on the uneven surfaces. Exterior is made up of waterproof, durable material for work in fields, less expensive. The raw material is locally available. Central wooden wheel, rubber body, alternative layers of hard and soft rubber, sash foot, Jaipur foot. Madras foot, it was modified sash foot, gives TA-like look posteriorly, sponge between heel and the ground. Satisfactory attachment, flexible endoskeleton. Ability for the sole to conform to slightly irregular surfaces, easier for the ampute to walk over uneven terrain. Feet of this type make walking easier because of the flexibility, also called flexible kneel feet. Dynamic response feet. It is made up of carbon fiber, reinforced polymer. It stores kinetic energy from the wearer's steps as potential energy like spring, allowing the wearer to run and jump, used by athletes. Thank you. Please like and share this video and subscribe the YouTube channel of RPIIT Academics.